Every home is a kingdom, and every kingdom has its enemies. What if I told you that some of those enemies aren't outside but hidden within your own walls? Today, we'll expose the objects that silently weaken your life and reveal how to reclaim your power by removing them immediately. Every home is meant to be a place of peace, a fortress where your dreams can grow and your spirit can rest. But what if I told you right now that there are invisible enemies quietly working against your success, your health, and your happiness, hiding in plain sight inside your very own home? Yes, objects. Objects that you may not even realize are inviting destruction into your life. Today I'm going to open your eyes to the first of these silent traps, the objects that seem harmless but carry a power to bring you down. The first object on this dangerous list is something many people overlook: a broken or cracked mirror. You might think it's just a mirror, but listen closely. A mirror reflects more than your image. It reflects your energy, your vibe, your essence. When a mirror is broken or cracked, it distorts that reflection, creating chaos where there should be clarity. It's not just superstition, it's about energy flow. That broken mirror can shatter your focus, break your spirit, and invite confusion into your life. It causes a fracture not just in glass, but in your emotional and mental state. Have you ever felt off or unsettled after seeing a broken mirror? That's not coincidence. Some people even place mirrors in spots that face the bed or the front door, without realizing how these placements can open doors to negativity and restlessness. Broken mirrors trap stagnant energy and keep it cycling through your environment, like a storm trapped inside a glass box. Can you imagine carrying that storm with you day after day? It's exhausting and dangerous. But here's the kicker: just removing or covering that broken mirror isn't always enough. You must take deliberate steps to cleanse the space, to clear the energy that is being polluted. It requires intention. Simply ignoring it means you keep the door open to destruction. Now, many will ask, if a broken mirror can cause so much damage, what about other seemingly harmless objects? That question leads us directly into the next trap, the next silent enemy that's lurking in homes everywhere. An enemy that hides in plain sight, disguised as something familiar and often treasured, something you never thought would be connected to your downfall. So as you reflect on this, ask yourself, are there broken mirrors in your life? Are there fractured reflections distorting your vision, your purpose, your path? It's time to shatter the illusion and reclaim your power. But beware, the journey doesn't end here. The next object is even more surprising, more subtle, and more dangerous than a cracked mirror. What is it? Stay with me, because what you learn next could change everything. Removing these objects is not just about cleansing your home, it's about reclaiming your life. And that, my friends, is where real freedom begins. Now that we've uncovered the silent thread of the broken mirror, let's move to the second object that many people unknowingly keep in their homes, a seemingly innocent item that carries with it a destructive force: old, stagnant water. Yes, water, something that represents life and renewal, can also become a weapon of destruction when it's left to stagnate. You might ask, how can water, the very essence of life, harm me? The answer lies in its condition and energy. When water is fresh, flowing, and moving, it symbolizes purity, vitality, and constant renewal. But stagnant water, that water which sits motionless in containers, vases, pipes, or even plant sources, becomes a breeding ground for negative energy. It becomes heavy, toxic, and suffocating. It can poison the atmosphere of your home, your mindset, and your emotional well-being. Imagine breathing in the weight of that stale energy day after day. What does it do to your spirit, to your motivation, to your clarity? Old, stagnant water attracts what you don't want: disease, decay, and despair. It becomes a silent reservoir of destruction, unseen but felt. It drains your strength and invites fatigue. Have you ever walked into a room and felt a heaviness you couldn't explain? Chances are, stagnant water is the culprit. It traps negative energy and holds it in place, preventing the natural flow of positivity and progress. More than just being a physical threat, stagnant water is symbolic of stagnation in life. It reflects what happens when you allow negativity to settle and take root. Your goals become clogged, your relationships dry up, and your spirit becomes weary. It's as if the life force around you has slowed to a halt, trapped and unable to move forward. Removing stagnant water is not just about pouring it out, it's about renewing your environment, your mindset, and your energy. It requires intentional action and consistent attention. Are you willing to look around your home, identify where this silent poison may be hiding, and act to remove it? But here's where it gets even more important. There's a common mistake many make after they remove stagnant water. They forget to replace it with fresh, flowing energy. Without fresh water or movement, the void quickly fills with the same destructive energy. So the challenge isn't just to remove the old, but to invite the new habits, new thoughts, new momentum. You may be wondering, if stagnant water causes such harm, what other hidden forces are at work in my home? This question leads us to the third object, one that is far more common yet even more powerful in its ability to drain your life. It's an object that often holds sentimental value, but its presence can cripple your future. Are you ready to uncover it? Because what comes next will challenge what you thought you knew about your surroundings and how those surroundings are shaping your destiny. Remember, the battle for your life is not just fought on grand stages, it begins in the smallest details of your home. Removing what destroys you is the first step toward claiming the life you deserve. We've spoken about the dangers of broken mirrors and the silent threat of stagnant water. Now let's turn our attention to the third object, one that might be hiding in plain sight, yet holds a power to silently drain your energy and sabotage your life. I'm talking about old, unused electronics, gadgets left plugged in, batteries dead, or devices forgotten in corners. These objects may seem harmless, even insignificant, but their impact is anything but. Why do old electronics matter? Because they are like anchors of outdated energy. They store residual power, static, noise, and interference that disrupts the natural flow of energy in your home. Have you ever felt tired, restless, or unable to focus when you're around those piles of unused devices? That's not just in your head. These electronics emit invisible vibrations that affect your mental clarity and emotional balance. Keeping broken or unused electronics around is like holding on to the past, to what no longer serves you. They create clutter, not just physical clutter, but energetic clutter. This clutter blocks your progress, confuses your mind, and weakens your ability to make clear decisions. Think about your home as a garden. When you leave dead plants and weeds, they choke the life out of what's growing. Old electronics are the weeds of your living space. But the danger goes deep. Many times, these gadgets contain batteries or components that slowly leak toxins into the environment, polluting not just your space, but also your health. The unseen chemical drain adds to the invisible energetic drain. It's a double threat. Now, what about sentimental electronics? Maybe it's that old phone from years ago or a broken game console. You hold on to them for memories, but in reality, these objects may be holding you back. When you cling to the past, you stop moving forward. And this is a crucial lesson. The items that drain your energy are often the ones you are emotionally attached to. It's time to ask yourself, is that attachment worth the price you pay in lost energy and opportunity? Removing these old electronics isn't simply about throwing things away. It's about reclaiming your space, your mind, and your future. When you clear out these energy drains, you make room for fresh ideas, new energy, and opportunities to flow freely. Now, I know you're wondering, if old electronics can do all this damage, what other everyday objects are silently stealing my strength? The next object I'm going to reveal is even more common, something you probably see every day, but might never suspect of having destructive power. Are you ready to uncover it? Because the truth about this next object will shake the foundation of how you see your home and yourself. Remember, your environment is a reflection of your inner world. To change your life, you must first change what you allow into your space. The battle for your future begins with awareness and action. We've uncovered the hidden dangers of broken mirrors, stagnant water, and old electronics. Now let me reveal to you the fourth object, a household item so common, so innocent in appearance, yet so deadly in the way it drains your life's energy. I'm talking about artificial plants. Yes, those fake flowers and plastic greenery that many people use to decorate their home. You might be thinking, artificial plants, How can something that looks so beautiful cause harm? The answer lies in energy and authenticity. Living things breathe, grow, and emit life force. They bring freshness, vitality, and renewal into your environment. Artificial plants, however, are lifeless. They carry no breath, no growth, no transformation. Instead, they hold stagnant energy. They symbolize something frozen in time, something that doesn't evolve or change. When you fill your space with artificial plants, you are inviting stagnation, energy that does not move, does not renew, and does not flow. That energy settles and accumulates, slowly suffocating the natural rhythms of your home. Think about it. Your environment should be alive, vibrant, and constantly evolving, reflecting your own growth. But fake plants keep your surroundings in a state of arrested development, keeping you stuck. There's also a deeper psychological effect. Artificial plants remind your mind and spirit of what's fake or superficial. They can create a subconscious message that your environment isn't genuine or nourishing. Over time, this subtle message erodes your sense of well-being, your motivation to push forward, and your ability to attract true abundance. Many people hold on to artificial plants because they're low maintenance, or because they like the look. But convenience is a poor trade-off when it costs you energy and peace of mind. Have you ever walked into a room filled with fake plants and felt a heaviness or a dullness in the air? That's the lifeless energy clinging to those objects. Removing artificial plants isn't just about changing your decor, it's about reclaiming the life force of your space. It's about inviting true vitality and movement back into your home. Imagine replacing those plastic leaves with fresh, living greenery plants that breathe, grow, and remind you daily that life is dynamic and full of potential. But here's the real question: what other objects in your home carry this weight of lifeless energy, disguised as something familiar or even comforting? What else have you been holding on to that silently steals your strength and dims your spirit? The next object I'm about to reveal will surprise you. It's something that many people cherish, yet it has the power to destroy your peace and invite chaos. Are you ready to uncover it? Remember, the health of your environment reflects the health of your life. What you allow to remain in your home shapes your future. The path to freedom and renewal begins with recognizing and removing what no longer serves you. We've already explored the dangers of broken mirrors, stagnant water, old electronics, and artificial plants. Now let's talk about the fifth object, the one that's often overlooked, yet silently drains your home of its energy and invites destruction into your life. This object is clutter. Yes, plain and simple clutter. The piles of unnecessary items, the stacks of things you don't use, the mess that grows without notice. You might be asking, clutter, isn't that just untidiness? No, clutter is far more than just mess. Clutter is energy stuck in one place, refusing to move forward. It's the physical representation of procrastination, confusion, and chaos. When your space is cluttered, your mind becomes cluttered. Your thoughts become tangled. Your goals get lost in the noise. Clutter blocks energy. It blocks opportunities. It blocks clarity. Imagine trying to run a race with a backpack full of rocks. That's what clutter does to your life. It weighs you down, slows your progress, and drains your enthusiasm. Have you ever felt overwhelmed or stuck? Have you ever struggled to make decisions or feel motivated? Look around. Chances are, clutter is the invisible hand holding you back. But clutter isn't just about stuff. It's about unresolved issues, unfinished projects, and emotional baggage. It's a mirror reflecting your inner state. When you allow clutter to build up in your environment, you're allowing confusion and disorder to build up inside your mind. Many people keep clutter out of fear of letting go, fear of change, fear of losing something valuable. But holding on to clutter is a false security. It traps you in the past and blocks the flow of new blessings, new ideas, new possibilities. Clearing clutter isn't just a chore, it's a transformative act. It's saying no to what no longer serves you, and yes to clarity, freedom, and focus. When you clear the space around you, you clear the space inside you. You open the door for growth, peace, and success. Now here's something to think about. Clutter doesn't always come from things you own. It can also come from what you allow into your home in the form of negative symbols or images. And that leads us to the next object, one that many people proudly display, not realizing it's silently tearing down their peace and prosperity. Are you ready to discover what it is? Because the truth about this next object will challenge your understanding of what belongs in your home and what must be removed immediately. Remember, your environment is the canvas upon which your life is painted. If clutter and chaos are the brushes, what kind of picture will you create? The power to change the masterpiece lies in your hands. We've talked about clutter and how it can silently sabotage your life. Now let's turn our attention to the sixth object, a seemingly harmless item that many people keep without knowing the hidden danger it brings. I'm talking about broken clocks. Yes, clocks that have stopped ticking, that no longer keep time. You might think they're just old or decorative, but listen carefully. Broken clocks carry a heavy weight of destruction. Time is the essence of life. Its movement, progress, and rhythm. When a clock stops, it symbolizes a halt in your own momentum. A broken clock traps energy in a frozen moment. It becomes a constant reminder of stagnation and missed opportunities. Have you ever walked into a room with a broken clock and felt an odd sense of unease or frustration? That's because the energy of halted time affects everything around it. Broken clocks create an invisible barrier to progress. They keep you stuck in the past, in old cycles, in moments that should have been left behind. They tell your subconscious mind that it's okay to stop moving forward, to remain stuck in delays and setbacks. Can you imagine what that does to your goals, your relationships, and your mindset? Many people hold on to broken clocks for sentimental reasons. Maybe it was a gift, or a family heirloom. But sentimentality can be a trap. When you allow broken timepieces to remain in your space, you are allowing your life to be held hostage by memories and regrets that no longer serve you. It's like wearing chains disguised as keepsakes. The power of a broken clock goes beyond just symbolism. These objects can disrupt the flow of energy in your home, causing confusion, anxiety, and a lack of focus. They interrupt the natural rhythm of your daily life and your ability to manage time effectively. Time management isn't just about scheduling. It's about the energy and mindset that allow you to seize the moment and move forward. Removing broken clocks is more than just cleaning up your home. It's about reclaiming your personal power over time and progress. When you replace those stopped clocks with functioning ones, or simply remove them, you send a clear message to your mind and your environment. I am moving forward. I am growing. I am alive. But here's the question. If broken clocks hold so much destructive power, what other common objects in your home could be doing the same without you even realizing it? What else might be sabotaging your life, disguised as everyday item? The next object I'm about to reveal is both surprising and dangerous. A quiet destroyer that can erode your peace faster than you think. Are you ready to find out what it is? Remember, the flow of time in your environment reflects the flow of energy in your life. When time stands still, so do you. The choice to move forward begins with awareness and the courage to remove what holds you back. We've explored broken mirrors, stagnant water, old electronics, artificial plants, clutter, broken clocks, and now we come to the seventh and final object, the one that, if left in your home, can destroy your peace, your progress, and your future. This object is dust and dirt left to accumulate, ignored and unseen, but powerful in its destructive impact. Dust is more than just dirt on surfaces. It represents neglect, decay, and stagnation. When dust settles, it blocks the flow of energy, just like physical clutter or broken objects. But dust is sneaky. It creeps into every corner, hiding in places you don't always notice. It's silent, but persistent, and it affects more than just the cleanliness of your home. It affects your health, your mindset, and the energy that surrounds you. Have you ever felt sluggish or unfocused, even in a clean room? Chances are the dust you don't see is interfering with your vitality. Dust carries particles that pollute the air, making breathing harder and creating a heavy atmosphere. That heaviness translates into mental fog, fatigue, and a general sense of unease. But there's a deeper meaning behind dust. It symbolizes what you ignore in your life. Those problems you push aside, those feelings you refuse to face, the areas where you choose not to take action. When you allow dust to build up in your home, You're mirroring the neglect inside your own mind and spirit. It's a physical representation of the parts of your life that have been abandoned or forgotten. Cleaning dust isn't just about hygiene, it's about renewal and reclaiming your space and energy. It's about clearing the old to make room for the new. Every sweep, every wipe is a step towards clarity, freshness, and forward momentum. When you commit to removing dust, you are committing to your own renewal. Think about this. How much dust have you allowed to build up around you? How much have you ignored, hoping it will go away on its own? The truth is, neglect only makes the problem worse. Dust left unchecked gathers more dust, and soon it becomes a burden that's much harder to remove. Now, if dust has such a powerful effect, what other seemingly invisible forces could be working against you in your home? What else might be quietly eroding your strength without you even realizing it? This brings us full circle to a question that should keep you awake tonight. How many silent enemies are living with you disguised as everyday objects? And how many more opportunities have you missed because of what you've allowed to stay in your space? Remember, your home is your sanctuary, or it should be. It's where your energy is nurtured and your future is shaped. The battle for your life isn't just outside, it begins inside, with the choices you make about what you keep and what you remove. Now, the real power is in your hands, to remove what destroys and to open the door for what truly empowers. Every day we walk through our homes, assuming they are places of safety, comfort, and restoration. But what if I told you that hidden within those walls are objects, silent, poisonous items that slowly steal your energy, weaken your spirit, and block your path to success? These are not things you'd expect, not obvious enemies, yet they sabotage your life from the inside out. It's time to wake up and take control by identifying these toxic items and learning how to remove them once and for all. First, recognize that energy flows where attention goes. If you allow negative, broken, or stagnant objects to remain in your space, you are inviting their poison into your life. These items disrupt the natural rhythm of your environment and your mind. They breed chaos, confusion, and exhaustion. So what exactly are these 7 poisonous items? Broken mirrors that shatter not just reflections but your spirit. Old stagnant water that traps energy and suffocates your home's vitality. Old electronics draining your mental clarity with invisible static and chemical leakage. Artificial plants that symbolize lifelessness and block growth. Clutter, the physical and emotional weight that slows every step forward. Broken clocks frozen in time, halting your momentum and progress. And finally, dust and dirt, the silent killers of freshness and clarity, representing neglect and decay. But knowing these objects is only half the battle. The real power lies in what you do next, how you remove them, and what you replace them with. Removing broken mirrors means restoring clarity and vision. Pouring out stagnant water invites fresh energy to flow freely. Clearing old electronics declutters not just your space, but your mind. Replacing artificial plants with living ones breathes life back into your home. Decluttering frees you from emotional and physical bondage. Fixing or removing broken clocks resets your time and momentum. And finally, cleaning dust and dirt refreshes your environment and renews your spirit. This process isn't a one-time event. It's a lifestyle of awareness, vigilance, and intentional action. Your home should be a sanctuary, a place that fuels your dreams and restores your energy, not a graveyard for old toxic items that steal your strength. Ask yourself, what poisonous items have you been ignoring? How long have you allowed these silent destroyers to reside in your life? Are you ready to take the steps to remove them and reclaim your power? Because here's the truth. When you clear out what drains you, you open space for what empowers you. And when your environment vibrates with positive energy, so will your life. But remember, this journey of cleansing your home is only the beginning. What about the invisible poisons we allow into our minds and hearts? How do we guard against those? That's the next frontier, one that demands just as much attention and courage. Stay with me, because the path to freedom never ends, and every step forward reveals deeper truths about how to live fully and powerfully. Your home should be your fortress, a sanctuary where you find strength, peace, and renewal. But what happens when the very place meant to protect you becomes a battleground? When destructive objects are allowed to remain, they quietly weaken your defenses, leaving you vulnerable to negative energy, stress, and setback. It's time to take control, to guard your fortress by identifying and removing what destroys your peace and power. Think about the concept of a fortress, walls built strong to keep invaders out, a place where you feel safe and secure. Your home functions in the same way, but unlike physical invaders, the threats inside your home are often invisible. They're objects, symbols, and energy that chip away at your well-being day by day. Broken mirrors, stagnant water, old electronics, artificial plants, clutter, broken clocks, and accumulated dust. These are not just items, they are silent invaders in your personal space. When you allow these destructive objects to stay, you give permission for chaos to enter. Your energy gets drained, your clarity becomes clouded, and your ability to focus and create is diminished. Imagine trying to build a fortress with cracks in the walls. How long before those cracks widen and the structure collapses? The same happens when destructive items remain in your home. Guarding your fortress means being vigilant. It means looking honestly at what you allow into your space and asking yourself tough questions. Does this object uplift me or drain me? Does it bring life and movement, or stagnation and decay? Are these items reminders of past failures, or do they inspire growth and renewal? Removing these destructive objects is an act of self-respect and empowerment. It's a declaration that you will no longer tolerate anything that diminishes your energy or disrupts your peace. Clearing broken mirrors restores your vision for the future. Pouring out stagnant water invites fresh opportunities. Disposing of old electronics clears mental fog. Replacing artificial plants with living ones brings vitality back to your environment. Eliminating clutter frees your mind and space. Fixing or removing broken clocks resets your momentum. And cleaning away dust breathes freshness and clarity into your fortress. But guarding your fortress is not a one-time battle. It's an ongoing mission. Every day you must evaluate, clean, and protect what matters most. This is how you build resilience, create harmony, and ensure your home remains a place where you can recharge and thrive. Now, if your home is your fortress, what about your mind and heart? How do you guard those spaces against destructive thoughts and emotions? What are the invisible forces at work inside you that can erode your peace, just as surely as broken mirrors or clutter can in your home? The next step in this journey is to confront those internal battles, because true strength and protection come from within, and the way you guard your mind and heart determines the power of your fortress. Prepare yourself, because what comes next will challenge how you think about protection, energy, and the unseen forces shaping your life. There is incredible power in cleansing, power that goes far beyond just tidying up your space or dusting off old shelves. Cleansing is about removing what no longer serves you, what no longer contributes to your growth, your peace, or your success. It's about making room for new energy, new opportunities, and new life. But why is this so important? Why does cleansing have the power to transform not just your environment, but your entire existence? Think about it. Your environment is a reflection of your inner world. When you hold on to things that weigh you down, whether they are physical objects, old habits, or negative thoughts, you are essentially filling your space with resistance. Resistance to change, resistance to growth, resistance to progress. The energy becomes stagnant, stuck, and suffocating. But when you consciously remove what no longer serves you, you create space, space for movement, space for fresh energy, space for breakthroughs. Cleansing is not just about throwing things away, it's a deliberate act of saying enough. Enough to clutter, enough to brokenness, enough to toxicity. It's a statement of your intention to live fully, to rise above the limitations that have held you captive. When you clear out the old, you clear the path for transformation. Consider the emotional weight attached to the items you keep. Some things stay in our homes not because they're useful, but because of memories, fear, or guilt. But holding on to what no longer serves you is like carrying a heavy backpack full of rocks. It slows you down, drains your energy, and clouds your vision. The power of cleansing lies in releasing that burden. When you let go, you experience a freedom that can only come from space cleared, space where your energy can flow freely, where your mind can think clearly, and where your spirit can soar. Cleansing also resets your vibration. When your surroundings are free from the negative energy trapped in old, broken, or unnecessary items, your whole being vibrates at a higher frequency. You become more aligned with your purpose, more focused on your goals, and more open to receiving blessings and opportunity. But here's the challenge. Cleansing is not a one-time event. It's a lifestyle. It requires continuous awareness and the courage to face what's uncomfortable. It asks you to regularly evaluate your environment, your habits, and even your relationships, and ask, does this serve me? Does this lift me? Or does it weigh me down? The power to cleanse, to remove what no longer serves you, is the power to take control of your life. It's the power to create a space where you can thrive, not just survive. It's the power to say, I deserve peace, clarity, and success. So I ask you today, what are you holding on to that's stealing your energy? What are you willing to release so you can step into your greatest potential? Remember, true freedom begins with cleansing, and the first step is always yours to take. Take that step, claim your space, and watch how your life transforms. Your future depends on what you choose to keep and what you choose to let go.